Good morning, everyone. Here's your Eastern Idaho weather and planning briefing for the first day of September here in 2020. We are watching for another day of cooler weather. Not quite as cool as yesterday, but still in the grand scheme of things, cooler overall. Now, high pressure returns. Hot and dry weather's back pretty quickly, and we might even see some record highs by the time we get to the end of this week. High pressure is centered over the Pacific. The flow over us is from the northwest as the ridge is to our west for now. Our low is shifted off to our south and to the east. We're not expecting any precipitation at this point over the next 6 to 7 days across our area. Still looking at some pockets of frost or localized freeze conditions this morning, but we're looking at the relative humidity to really start dropping starting tomorrow. We might have a few spots where where the gusty winds push us towards red flag conditions. Right now, we don't have any headlines out, and anything will be fairly spotty, nothing widespread enough to even look at a red flag warning or fire weather watch at this particular time across the area. Now, how's that pattern shaping up? Starting today, high pressure will start shifting inland, and by the time we get to the end of the week, high pressure will be pretty much centered over the western U.S. right into the state of Idaho on the northern end of that ridge. And then you'll notice by the end of the week, into early next week, we have a low that's going to drop out of Canada into the U.S. How far west, right at this point, determines how much cooler we're going to be by the time we get to about a week from now, and if we get any precipitation across the area. But at least the consensus is we're going to see that ridge shifting west as the low drops into the central U.S. into the Great Lakes areas as well. So otherwise, for today, we're looking at temperatures running in the 70s. Some spots still not getting out of the 60s. Up around Chalice, Stanley, we might hit 80 degrees or fairly close to it for today. Humidity's in the 20s and 30% this afternoon. Nothing too low, but we talked about tomorrow. Look at those temperatures. Already back up into some places the mid to upper 80s. Humidity's dropping off into the teens. Some places across the Arco Desert, into the valleys of the Central Mountains, we might see some 10 to 15% humidities. And that's where we're going to get close to red flag conditions. The valleys in the Central Mountains running about 20 to 25 miles an hour. You get into the higher elevations, are going to be running 30, maybe 35 miles an hour. Some gusts 30 to 35 in the afternoon across the Snake Plain, early afternoon in the Magic Valley. They increase maybe some 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts in some of those areas, but again, nothing widespread in terms of red flag conditions. Probably just enough wind to get some fires moving if we get something to start or to flare up across the area. Temperatures just a little bit warmer on Thursday, but once that ridge starts to shift over us into Friday, we're going to be pushing some 90s across the area, and by Saturday, some areas pushing mid-90s. Right now, we're within a couple of degrees of record highs across the region. Just something to think about, and if you're going to be out and about, make sure you're still ready for hot and dry weather across our area. And Sunday, we start to scale it back just a bit. We may actually have to put this off a day or two depending on how quickly that low moves into the northern United States. Once again, cooler compared to where we should be this time of year for one more day. Ridge means hot and dry weather quickly returns with some record highs by the end of the week. If you have any questions, give us a call. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday and stay safe out there, everyone.